Arguably, one of the worst possible companies to lose data has confirmed just that, with 23andMe admitting that it was targeted by hackers. 23andMe houses some of the most sensitive user data on the internet. As a DNA testing company, you'll find more than just email addresses and phone numbers. This company stores data concerning your genetic information, which goes much deeper than your online credentials. Now, with stolen user data confirmed by 23andMe, the company is insisting it wasn't breached. As reported by The Wire and confirmed by 23andMe, the DNA testing company did, in fact, have user data stolen from the platform. Even worse, the data is currently posted for sale on a breach forum, with the hacker in question asking for between $1 to $10 per account. Even worse than that, the data specifically targets those of the Jewish faith, with over 1 million data points related to those specific individuals. There was also from hundreds of thousands of users from Chinese descent found in the sample data provided by the hacker. While the user data was stolen, 23andMe categorically denies that an actual data breach took place. According to 23andMe, the hacker in question were able to guess the login credentials of users to gain access to their accounts. Then, the hacker used the DNA relative features, which users can opt into for purposes for sharing more data with friends and family to acquire even more information about the users. A spokesperson from 23andMe stated this: "We were made aware that certain 23andMe customers' profile information was compiled through access to individual 23andMe.com accounts. We believe that the threat actor may have then, in violation of our terms and services, accessed 23andMe.com accounts without authorization and obtained information from those accounts." The process the hacker used to gain access to these accounts is called credential stuffing, a strategy in which data leaked from other breaches is used to gain access to other platforms. The only reason strategies like credential stuffing works when it comes to stolen user data is because people reuse passwords so often. 23andMe reiterated in their statement that using unique, complex passwords for your account and enabling features like two-factor authentication will stop this kind of threat in its tracks. So the main thing that people should take into an account is that a lot of these companies will happen to lie in order to save face, because a lot of these things they could actually prevent with having better cyber security, with having more money allocated towards cyber protection, so that things like this won't necessarily happen on their platform or to their consumer base. 23andMe had a variety of different options that they could have specifically took um, in order to stop this from taking place. You hear them always, a lot of these companies, they want to put the blame specifically on a person. Oh, stop reusing your old password. Stop doing this. Stop doing that. And yeah, to an extent, that is true. But even if somebody were to use an old password, the main thing that should already be taking place is that due to the fact that you're hosting, you're paying money for this website, you're the corporation, you're the company, you should already have the necessary facilities, the things set in place in order to stop a potential breach or a potential hack. Not saying that you're going to be able to stop every single thing, but you can stop the mass majority of these things from specifically taking place. And then on top of this, they were stating that how this seemed to be a very targeted attack, focusing on the DNA from two specific groups. And the other thing I also want to acknowledge and have a lot of people understand and be aware of is that 23andMe went on in the article to state that no, we weren't breached, no, we weren't hacked. But yet we found out that yes, you are hacked because the data is directly on the dark web. So I want people to pay attention. If the information never showed up on the dark web and nobody really had any type of validity or proof of what took place, no shred of evidence, 23andMe could basically sit back and say, yeah, we were never hacked, we were never breached. We don't know specifically what it is that people are referring to or what it is that they are talking about, because on our end, everything is pretty much a-okay. That's also why I state to people why you should be very cautious to deal with a lot of these companies, because you don't specifically know what can happen with any or all of your information at all. Again, this is a a life that we have grown accustomed to and that we have to continuously deal with due to the fact of how embedded online is when it deals with our everyday lives. We got Google Pay, Apple Pay, we got PayPal, we got Zelle, we got Stripe, we got all of these other areas that also host and hold our information. It might not be specifically genetic or DNA related, but it's the fact that it's important information that if it got into the wrong hands, it could pretty much ruin a lot of people financially for a very long time. And it's hard to, in a sense, come back directly from that, right? It's easy for the bad actors to happen to get your information, but then it's difficult to try to prosecute or fine or to try to restart your life after somebody has basically ruined your name, your credit, your bank accounts, and everything else. It's very hard to basically restart that and continue from that point. They make it very difficult. Easy for the bad guys, terrible for the good guys, right? So the main thing that I would tell people is that you have to pay very close attention. If that you know that your information is directly out here, it would behoove you to keep track of every single update and article where it deals with tech. This is when I tell people that this is the day and age where it's crazy not to be tech savvy or not to understand or read up on a lot of things, because the more you know, the more you understand, and the better you are able to, arm yourself and protect yourself against a lot of these bad actors that are specifically out here that want to get your information and they want to sell it to the highest bidder, or for what the guy had, $1 to $10, specifically up there. Even though when I looked at a video, um one of the groups stated that they had a pricing, right? They said for 100 profiles is $1,000. For 1,000 profiles, $5,000. 10,000 profiles, $20,000. 100,000 profiles, $100,000, right? And this is what they are posting directly online when it deals with people's information, their DNA, their genetics, their family tree, everything like that. Nobody knows specifically who the information is going to go to, what anybody would actually do with that information, if they could do anything with that information. But I'm pretty sure that there are some people out there that could use information in a certain type of way. Again, all I'm saying is that this is a huge danger, and people need to educate themselves when it deals with technology and a lot of these breaches and a lot of these hacks that take place, because sooner or later this the same exact thing, it might not be in this exact same circumstance, but it will inevitably affect and reach you one way or another.